Two federal officials, one judge, one prosecutor, were threatened with death. The FBI launched two separate investigations, but no one told Lil Durk or his lawyers. Today, we unpack how death threats, secret meetings, and hidden FBI probes might just explode the federal case against Lil Durk, possibly leading to dismissal. If a judge received death threats about your trial, should they still be allowed to sentence you? Drop a comment, fair trial, or Fed setup. Imagine sitting in jail awaiting trial while the very judge deciding your future is quietly receiving death threats, and nobody tells your legal team. That's what allegedly happened in Lil Durk's federal murder for hire case. According to court filings, the presiding judge received voicemails threatening to unalive her and burn down the courthouse if Durk or his co-defendants were sentenced to life. It got so serious, the FBI launched a formal investigation. The U.S. Marshals got involved. But for months, Durk's defense team was left in the dark. No disclosure, no cross-examination, no fairness. Now here's where things go from bad to explosive. Not long after the judge got those chilling voicemails, the lead prosecutor, the main guy trying to put Lil Durk away, got his own terrifying call. Another anonymous threat, another life on the line. This time, it wasn't just the courthouse. It was his entire office that was allegedly targeted. And again, the FBI stepped in with a second investigation. But once again, Durk's lawyers weren't told. That's two federal officials, two threats, and zero disclosure. The entire process was unfolding in the shadows while Durk sat behind bars, completely unaware of the storm brewing outside. According to Durk's attorneys, after the threats came in, the judge and federal prosecutors held multiple secret meetings without informing the defense. These weren't casual hallway chats. They were secret meetings, meaning the defense wasn't present. No transcripts, no records, just a judge, the feds, and a growing sense of paranoia, all happening off the record. Now imagine this. The same judge who's getting threatened is also being asked to decide whether Lil Durk is dangerous, specifically for allegedly influencing others to commit violence. That's not justice. That's psychological warfare. And the prosecution leaned into it, using Durk's fame and reputation against him while staying silent about their own fear. If the people deciding your fate are afraid of you, or even just believe your fans are out for blood, every ruling they make becomes a conflict of interest in disguise. Faced with hidden threats, secret court meetings, and an increasingly biased bench, Lil Durk's legal team didn't just push back, they went nuclear. They filed a motion demanding that every single judge and prosecutor in the Central District of California be removed from the case. All of them. Why? Because the defense argues this courtroom isn't just biased, it's compromised, tainted by fear, paralyzed by secrecy. This isn't emotion, it's a power move. When defense lawyers demand a total reboot of the justice system, it means they've spotted a fatal flaw the public wasn't meant to see. The defense didn't just cite laws, they used a metaphor that hits hard. They said, this is like playing in the championship game while the referee is secretly getting death threats and never tells your team. Every call against you starts to feel suspect. Every foul looks like bias. Even if the ref swears they played fair, the game is tainted. That's exactly what Durk's lawyers are saying about this trial. Fairness isn't just about rules, it's about perception. If the public can't trust the process, the verdict loses all credibility. And that's exactly what's at stake here. Now here's where it gets extreme. Lil Durk's legal team isn't just asking for a change of judge, they're asking for the entire case to be thrown out permanently. Why? Because they argue the damage is already done. You can't fix a poison well by switching buckets. You need a new will. And if the court refuses to dismiss, Durk's team wants an evidentiary hearing, forcing everyone to testify under oath about what they knew and what they hid. This isn't posturing, it's leverage. If the court won't dismiss, it might still blink and give Durk the tactical edge he's been waiting for. If you've been watching this unfold, it's clear this case is about way more than Lil Durk. It's about what happens when the courtroom turns into a back room. So if you want the full truth, unfiltered, uncut, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications. This legal saga is only getting messier. What the prosecution fears, Who made the threats? Durk's defense insists these weren't orders from the top. They were random fans acting recklessly, clout chasing and playing vigilante from their phones. But here's the trap. Whether it was Durk or not, the damage is done. The court is now emotionally compromised. Fear doesn't need facts, it only needs a trigger. There's one piece of digital evidence both sides are weaponizing, a text message where Durk reportedly told his associates not to use his credit card unless it was a business expense. That very card was later used to book flights and vehicles tied to the alleged hit. The prosecution says this proves Durk was cleaning his hands after getting them dirty. The defense says it proves the opposite. Intent is everything, and this text cuts both ways. One sentence could either clear Durk's name or seal his fate. That's why it's front and center in the courtroom chessboard. Behind every federal case is a middleman, and in Durk's situation, that role allegedly belongs to his manager. According to court filings, it was Durk's longtime associate who booked the travel, rented the vehicle, and allegedly met with the men accused of committing the hit. Prosecutors are using that timeline to draw a straight line from Durk to the crime. But here's the thing, being close to bad behavior doesn't prove you orchestrated it. This is the danger zone for Durk. Too much proximity, too little proof. And that's where cases live or die. The prosecution isn't just focused on Durk's associates. They've also pulled text threads, group chats, and messages where Durk allegedly told people not to book flights on his card. On the surface, that could clear him, but prosecutors say it's more like a digital cleanup job, a last-minute warning to avoid leaving a paper trail. The defense is framing it as Durk distancing himself from illegal activity before it ever happened. Same text, two realities, one verdict. In an age of screenshots and digital receipts, your words aren't just messages, they're evidence. Let's ask the obvious. If the judge and prosecutor were being threatened, why didn't they recuse themselves? Durk's team says it's because they didn't want to lose control of the narrative. If a new judge came in, the case might slow down. A new prosecutor, different tactics. Instead, the original team chose to keep quiet and push forward, arguing Durk was dangerous, while themselves being under federal protection. You can't cry danger while hiding your own fear. Here's where fame becomes a liability. The government is leaning on Durk's status not just as an artist, but as a shot caller, a modern-day mob boss with industry clout. His lyrics, his entourage, his lifestyle, every piece is now evidence in a larger narrative. They're not saying Durk pulled the trigger, they're saying he inspired the pull. When celebrity becomes criminal code, every song becomes suspicious. When courts start talking anonymous juries and sealed hearings, you know the case has reached DEFCON 1. Prosecutors are reportedly pushing for strict privacy measures, concealed juror identities, restricted courtroom access, and gag orders on participants. Why? They say it's about safety. But Durk's team argues it's about control. Keep the public out and you control the narrative. Here's the wild part. If Durk's motion succeeds, even partially, the consequences could be massive. The judge could be swapped. The prosecutors could be disqualified. Key decisions like bail or evidence admissibility might be reversed. And if the court really agrees the process was poison, the entire case could be dismissed. It's legal chess, and Durk just called check. Whether he wins now or on appeal, this motion could reshape everything from charges to sentencing. So here's where we land. A secretive court, a frightened prosecution, and a defense team swinging for the fences. Whether this motion leads to a full dismissal or a quiet reshuffling behind the scenes, one thing's clear. This case is no longer just about guilt. It's about process, power, and perception. And in that courtroom, perception might be the most dangerous weapon of all. Stick around. We're tracking every twist until the final gavel drops.